Okay, you know the feeling. You find the perfect job posting, you're all ready to apply, and then bam! You hit a wall called the numerical reasoning test. It can feel like such a huge hurdle, right? But what if I told you they're less about doing complicated math and more about, well, cracking a code? Today, that's exactly what we're going to do.
I mean, who isn't? You've got a screen jam-packed with charts and tables, there's a clock ticking down in the corner, and suddenly your brain just decides to go on vacation. It happens to everyone, and honestly, that pressure is part of the test. But we're not going to let it get to us.
Because here's the big secret. You already have all the skills you need to ace these things. Seriously, it's got nothing to do with being a math whiz. It's all about keeping a cool head and just thinking logically. So let's walk through it together, and I'll prove it to you.
So why do employers even bother with these tests? Well, they're basically trying to simulate a real day at the office. Can you glance at a messy sales report under a tight deadline and pull out the one piece of information you need to make a good decision? That's the skill they're after. It's way more about focus than it is about formulas.
Okay, let's dive into this. A numerical reasoning test is really just a stand-in for a real business challenge. They give you some data, like a chart, and you give them an insight. It's as simple as that. You know what? Enough talk. Let's actually try one.
All right, theory time is officially over. Let's get our hands dirty with our very first challenge. This is a classic bar chart problem. You ready? Let's do it.
So here's our data. It's about new members at a fitness center in May. Now, the first rule of these tests, ignore everything you don't need. The question is going to be about May, so we only need to look at these two bars. We've got 22 super members and 10 off-peak members. That's it. That's all the info we need from this entire chart.
And here's our mission. We need to find the ratio of super members to off-peak members. Now, ratio sounds all formal and mathy, but it's just a simple comparison. It's how a business quickly figures out, hey, which of our products is selling better?
Okay, hold on. Before we even touch the numbers, let's make a quick plan of attack. This is so important when you're feeling the pressure. It's a simple 4-step plan. Find number 1, find number 2, write them down as a ratio, and then just simplify. Having a plan like this is your secret weapon against making silly mistakes.
Okay, steps 1 and 2, done. We looked at the chart and pulled our numbers, 22 and 10. So our starting ratio is 22 to 10. Easy enough?
And now for that final step, let's simplify. All we have to do is divide both sides by 2, and that gives us 11 to 5. And that's it. That's our answer. See what I mean? The actual math was ridiculously simple. The real skill was just having a calm, clear process.
Excellent. You see, you've totally got this. Now that we're warmed up, let's level up and tackle something a little bit trickier. This next one involves a table and has a couple more steps. But don't you worry, the logic underneath it all is exactly the same.
Okay, so here's our new data, a table showing share prices. First things first, let's not get overwhelmed. The question is only going to be about the retail company, so we can literally ignore everything else on the page. All we need are these two numbers, the starting price, 440p, and the ending price, 510p.
Now, we have to read this question very carefully. This is a classic two-part problem. First, there's a 10% price drop that we need to calculate. That'll give us the price on May 1st. Then, we have to calculate the percentage increase from that new, lower price up to the final price in December.
So, what's our game plan? Simple. Step 1, we'll figure out that 10% drop to get our May 1st price. Step 2, find the amount it grew from that May price to the December price. And step 3, turn that growth amount into a percentage. Let's just knock them out one by one.
And right here, this is it. This is the #1 trap in questions like these. It is so tempting to use that original January price of 440p for everything. But nope, the question is very specific. It asks for the increase from May. That means the new, lower price we calculated for May is the only number that matters for our final step. Getting this detail right is what separates a correct answer from a wrong one.
So let's just follow our plan. A 10% drop from 440p gets us a new May price of 396p. The increase from 396p up to 510p is 114p. And then we ask, what is 114p as a percentage of our 396p starting point? The answer, 27.73%.
That was great work. Seriously, we just sailed through two of the most common types of problems you are ever going to face. So now, let's zoom out a little and turn what we've learned into a simple, universal strategy that you can use on any numerical test, anytime.
This is pretty much the whole secret sauce. First, always read the question before you even look at the data. You have to know your mission. Second, isolate the data you need. Remember how we just ignored everything but the retail company? That's critical. Third, double-check your units. Are we talking about pounds, pence, percentages? It all matters. Fourth, break it down. That tricky multi-step problem became super easy once we tackled it one little piece at a time. And finally, write stuff down. Your brain is for thinking, your paper is for remembering.
So the next time you're faced with one of these tests, I want you to remember this. It's not a math test. It's a logic puzzle. It's just a test of your ability to stay calm, to find the signal in all the noise, and to solve a problem. And you know what? You've just proven you can absolutely do it. So the only question left is, what problem are you going to solve next?